call ABC.
And welcome back. Well, with any type of cancer diagnosis, it's very important to get good medical help. But for true healing to happen, it's also critical to pay attention to those emotional effects of the diagnosis. That's where ABCD comes in, and they are after breast cancer diagnosis. It's an organization that's been around for 20 years now, providing free support to anyone impacted by breast cancer. So Leslie Waltke is an ABCD board member, and we're so excited to have you here. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, Tiffany.
I love this. We were just chatting during the break. My best friend from college just went through breast cancer, and I think there's not a single person watching, I don't think anymore, who doesn't know someone who's been diagnosed. And this is really kind of where things come to play. You've been there since the beginning with ABCD. How did you kind of get connected?
I actually was in my clinic. I've been a cancer physical therapist for 25 years, and in 1998 my intercom went off and said, "Hey, Melody Wilson is online too." And of course I'm like, whoa, because she was the famous TV host, and I picked up the phone and she said, "I have this idea, and it's called ABCD, and would you be interested in joining this group of women who's trying to grow this idea I have that is around the emotional support piece of breast cancer care."
Mm-hmm. And why is that important? Because clearly you're on the physical side by profession, so you understand the lymphatics and how the body works and things like that, but yet you're being drawn to the emotional part.
Well, there is no singular experience when you hear the words, "I have breast cancer," but certainly it is traumatic and overwhelming to hear those words. And regardless of your support system and regardless of how awesome your medical care team is, it can be really isolating. And because we don't have the perspective that a breast cancer survivor has. So we haven't had the needle stuck in our arm, we haven't heard the words, we haven't had radiation, we haven't sat around waiting for those test results, which can be horrifying. And that's kind of where ABCD kind of plugs that hole or fills that gap of emotional care that we in healthcare can't necessarily provide.
Well, and I love what you say in a video that we're going to give people access to in a little bit too, but you say there's magic words, and those magic words are perspective, and that's very much what you're talking about. So ABCD provides what to those cancer patients?
The wonderful thing, first of all, anyone can call, anybody touched by breast cancer. So it's a newly diagnosed person, it's a family member of a newly diagnosed person, it's somebody who's been out of breast cancer for a long time. But what we do is when you call, and it's free, is the match specialist on the other end of the phone is trained to help you. They'll take in your information on what kind of breast cancer do you have, what kind of treatment are you going to go, or what have you had, and then more importantly is what are you like? What's important to you? Where do you live? What's important to you, whether it's religion or race or your job or your age in life or whatever it is that's important and impacting you as a person, whether it's young children or I'm taking care of an aging parent, and then how do I do this? They'll match that side of you as well and hook you up with a mentor who's trained to provide emotional support for you over the phone, by text. Again, it's all free. So it's a good dual match of both the healthcare side and the personal side. So it's a person that has perspective that can provide that emotional support.
And when you say a mentor, it's a woman who's been through it.
Yep.
And so those similarities match up is what you're saying. And so when you're talking to them, if you're a young mother or if you're a grandmother or if you're a single woman living alone, you're going to match them with someone who has a similar life experience and also a similar diagnosis.
Absolutely. And we also have men supporters, either for male breast cancer does exist. We have male breast cancer mentors. And we also have gentlemen who have wives, because that's another part of the emotional piece, is the co-partner, family members, spouses. They have difficility too, and they often don't get support. Yes, they do. So there are mentors for them as well.
I see. So they're not mentoring the women with breast cancer. They're finding a mentor to be a support person.
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell you, my friend could have used that.
Yes.
And I think I've heard over and over again women, and I think this speaks to many people out there, their husbands don't know what to do, and they're also feeling so scared, because they don't know if they're losing their life partner. They don't know what this is going to happen, and they don't know how to respond to many of the emotions and feelings and experiences that she's going through.
Yeah, their lives are disrupted as well. And again, you can't go to the internet and say, how do I do this?
No.
There's not a book.
No.
And so again, that's a nice one-on-one perspective that somebody who's been there and has that perspective is on the other side, surviving and doing well, looking back. There's nothing more powerful than that for somebody who's newly diagnosed.
I love that, surviving and doing well. And I think that's what's so important is you see that hope. You see that person having beat it and doing well and able to give back. So they're trained as well, and they feel confident and comfortable at this point sharing. I think this is just such an incredible thing to gift somebody in terms of connecting them with your free services. So I want to make sure anybody who knows someone who's going through breast cancer, you can reach out to ABCD. It's easy, it's free. You've got this video on your website. Where you can find it is abcdbreastcancersupport.org. If you'd like to call as well to set up an appointment or be matched with a mentor, here's the phone number. It's 414-977-1780. And that's where you can connect with people who are going through the same thing, receive support, and also find that mentor. Thanks so much for being here, Doctor.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Appreciate it. I love that.